Welcome to season 2 of Jay and Chelle Show and Tell podcast. Listen, like we did last season, we're going to put everything on the table in season 2. Everything except for politics. We will keep it fun. We're going to keep it interesting. We're going to keep it sexy. And for sure, we will keep it real. And with that being said, hello.
Hi.
Let's get to it. Welcome to another episode of Jay and Chelle Show and Tell podcast. Good afternoon, Michelle. How are you?
Good afternoon, Jay. Doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Just a little tired. Work. That's about it.
I'm a little tired too, but I feel like I still have a pep in my step today.
Good. Yeah, I'm trying to get that pep with this whiskey right here.
Hope it works.
Yeah, it should work. If not, the Mountain Dew might
kick in.
Kick in for sure. So today's conversation, we actually wanted to talk about keeping family and actually not family, your parents and also friends out of your personal relationship. As a matter of fact, let's throw family in there too.
I think you should throw family in there.
Just keeping family and friends out your personal relationship. And there's a lot of reasons why we should do that. But there is definitely one cure to that, and I'll fill everyone in at the end.
Zip it.
as far as what that one cure is to keep everyone out of your relationship. But my question for you, Michelle, is give me a reason why you would want to keep family and friends like out of your personal relationship. When I say personal, meaning like if there is certain issues that you and your partner have or arguments that you may have, why should you not, or why shouldn't you bring your family or friends into that particular situation?
So I think we're talking about just a healthy relationship. We're not talking about any kind of like abusive situations or anything like that, because that is different if you're in a situation where you need to get out of and you need your family's help. So just wanted to disclaimer that. But, a reason why you shouldn't is because there's no perfect relationships. We've talked about this so many times before, and there's so many ups and downs in relationships. People are going to fight. You're going to have arguments in relationships. And if you go running to your parents or family or even friends every single time that you have, something going on in your relationship, your family is going to, we've talked to you about two sides to every story. Your family's going to almost always take your side. I can't think of any situations where I've had a family member take someone else's side. So I think that's probably the main reason for me why I tend to keep my relationships a little bit more private. And things that happen, obviously good things that happen, exciting things. What are we doing this weekend? Those types of things, I share that. That's the fun stuff. That's the good stuff. But if there's just an ongoing like nagging issue in your relationship or fights that you have and you go running to your mom or to your dad or your parents every single time, that can be problematic because they are going to take your side and they're going to form a bias against your partner as to why they're not good enough for you or why you should leave them or, any of those situations. So that's the main reason I can think of why you'd want to keep your family and friends a little bit more separated from your personal issues in your relationship.
Yeah. And I think it's the uncomfortableness of the situation also. I was in a situation years ago where my partner, she always ran to her mom about a situation or any type of arguments that we were having and basically just went to her mom for advice or letting her know her side of the story. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Not the full side of the story. But I think it's a bad thing because it would make your partner feel just 100% uncomfortable. Just imagine, what is fighting season? Have you ever heard of fighting season?
No.
It's basically, you'll be surprised too. There's a lot of arguments or disagreements or even breakups around the holiday seasons. It's a lot of stress and it can start a lot of commotion in a household. So imagine you having an argument with your partner, right? and the partner is telling, the family or the friends all your business. Thanksgiving is coming up. You're going over to your partner's family's house, and, a couple friends show up also. They're all looking at you that know your business.
Yeah.
They're looking at you. And how are you feeling in that situation? Not saying that everybody is talking about the particular situation, but you knowing that your partner went to his family and his friends and basically talked about you. How are you feeling in that particular situation? That's basically how I was feeling years ago, knowing that I had a certain argument with someone, and I'm at the family's house for dinner for Thanksgiving. Now, the only thing I'm thinking about is like, what the fuck are they thinking about me? Right now at this moment, if I only could say my side of the story to an argument that happened 2 weeks ago, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's a bad idea to put your business out there in the street for not the street, but basically put it out there and letting your family and friends know personal information. But I do agree. I do agree with what you said earlier. Yes, certain things, yes, you can let out, just normal common things. Yeah, this is what we're doing this weekend. This is where we just came from, and things like that. But when you get into those scuffles or arguments at home, I think that should be handled within that household and not handled outside, that particular house door, if that makes sense.
Yeah, there's definitely something to be said about the privacy of things that you go through. But I understand why people do it, because your parents are older and wiser. Maybe you have an older siblings who are older and wiser, and they've been through something similar or been through similar situations. So I do understand why people do it. And I think in some cases, maybe it works for that relationship. But I think in most cases, at least that I've experienced, it's not a good thing to be happening. And just by design, your family will figure out or find out who your partner is or who you're with eventually. If there is some sort of issue going on, they'll see how you're treated. They'll be able to observe, when you're over at those family functions, how things could be going or what the relationship dynamic is like. So I don't think that you just need to go telling, all of those things. That's why I'm saying keeping stuff private is definitely a better option, but I do understand why people do it because of the advice that parents can give.
Yeah.
They've gone through situations before, most likely. So.
Yeah. And that's funny you said that, because I really don't like the older but wiser type of,
no.
I don't like that saying, because you're older, but that doesn't make you
not always wiser.
Exactly.
Right.
To certain situations. I mean, you can't be, let's just say an older mom out there, not married. You have a couple kids by a couple different people, and you're of course your kids are older. I mean, you want to give them advice on their particular relationship, and but where's your relationship at?
Right.
So that's why I say I really don't like the older but wiser. Yes, older, but just wiser to certain situations. Maybe not this particular subject.
Right.
They may not be
chances
wiser
of
at.
Going through exactly what you went through and what your argument was about, and then you go tell your parent that's probably pretty rare. So you're right. It's probably not the exact situation, but I think people just tend to go into my family for all this other advice, or my parents or my mom for all this other advice. So why would this be any different? But really all you're doing is you're putting that argument or that fight or that situation right in front of your family, or right in your mom's lap to judge and to form an opinion that may or may not be true, because it is one side of the story and it happened a week, 2 weeks, 3 days, whatever ago. You've gotten over it. You've worked through it. So now your mom has this opinion of your partner that's probably not a good one. And
Exactly.
I get the awkwardness of walking into a family situation like that. That would be horrible.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
Yeah, I can relate.
Yeah, and I agree 100% with what you just said. And you can't go and just dog out your partner to your family and
or
friends.
Yeah.
Family or friends. You just can't do that.
Not if you respect that person and you want a life with them and you want to stay with them, and if you break up, I don't even like doing it if you break up, because what if you got back together? Now you've just blasted this person all over maybe your social media, to your family, to your friends, and said how shitty they are, and then a month or 6 months goes by and you get back together. That just makes you look stupid.
Yeah, it really does. It really does. And that's why you should just like, I mean, to make a long story short, you know, just shut the fuck up. At the end of the day, just listen, your business, especially if you are married. Listen, if you are married, I mean, look in the camera, just in case someone on YouTube right now, listen.
If there's any confusion about this,
if you are married,
passionate about it.
If you are married, keep your relationship to yourself as far as personal information, as far as the things or the struggles that you may go through with your partner. You know, you take these vows and you guys are supposed to be a unit. Therefore, if there are struggles, then, you know, help each other get out of that particular struggle, for one. For two, don't run to your mom or your dad about what your partner is doing. Don't run to your friends and put your business out there in your friend's lap, because here's the thing, your friends or your family can start giving you advice that can be the most fucked up advice that they can probably give you, and you won't realize that until you take the advice that they give you. So I would just say, just leave everything between you and your partner. It shouldn't be running back to family or friends and just talking down or talking bad about your partner that you're with, that you walk down the aisle or jump the broom with. You guys are a unit. You just got to figure that shit out. You know, that's how I feel about that.
Yeah, I would be really interested to hear stories. I mean, I obviously talk to people all the time, and just the other day I was talking to somebody who, and this isn't even her involving her own family. Her husband involved her family in an argument. And so that I thought was even more strange. I mean, maybe this works for them, but it was an argument that they were having, and he ended up calling one of her family members and saying, she's doing this, or we're arguing about this and that. And the family member took his side. So it isn't always even, you know, I'm saying don't involve anyone's family. Like, I'm not about to go call on your parents and be like, well, Jay said this, you know, like, it's just, I don't think that's, I mean, again, maybe it works for some people, maybe it's healthy in some relationships, but I think for the most part, it's not a healthy thing to do, for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's a healthy thing to do at all. And of course, I'm gonna speak for myself. You know I just gave advice to all you guys.
Demanded everybody not do it.
Everybody just to, you know, shut up about their relationship. But yes, I hear you. I think at the end of the day that everything should be between you and your partner, because it could just, like I said, it just can become a uncomfortable situation. Now, another thing is, everyone goes to gatherings and things like that. So if you are at a family gathering and, things happen to come up, family members or friends are talking about a certain subject, I also think that also is a time to still not put your business out there in the street, because now, folks are learning different things about your particular relationship. In situations like that, I just try to tend to be quiet or just small talk. But I like to just keep all my personal information within my household. I will put it to you that way.
It's so funny that you say that, because I was instantly brought back to our basement when we first talked about doing the podcast, and what our first topic was, which was social media. And should you be friends with your significant other? And we won't name any names, but this was like, spill your personal business, unload. Like, everyone who was in that room, when they heard what the idea was going to be or what the topic was going to be, was just going off about their situations. And we were just kind of in the background laughing a little bit, like, oh my gosh, look what we've just unloaded. Everyone is going off on each other.
I started to get the water hose and just spray the motherfucking basement, because that's how hot it got in the basement.
And they wouldn't stop spilling the beans about everything in their relationships, everything they've gone through. And we were just sitting back like, holy crap. And if that's not fine for those people, I would imagine they all went home and in the car were like, you said this, there was probably fights all night long about that.
I hope not.
No, I hope not. But I'm just saying, like, people were really talking a lot about what they went through, and
some things possibly came out that they weren't able to say at home in fear
Maybe.
of
Yeah.
starting an argument. You know, maybe they felt more safer
Maybe.
speaking with us about it. We don't know that though.
And we
know?
didn't judge. We didn't even talk about it afterwards. All we did was laugh like, oh my gosh, like
This is the
everyone
topic.
had an opinion. Like that was it. That's all we said. And we didn't judge or form any biases or anything like that. But I can see where that would happen with your friends or family if you continuously go to them. You know, I had a friend in college who was someone who wasn't an ideal person for her. He did not treat her nicely. And I kind of got like, not tired, but like, I just kept saying the same thing over and over. You deserve better. You're better than this. You're worth more than that. Don't let him do this, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of got to the point where I was just sick of saying it because I had to say it all the time. And so that could be another thing that could happen with if you have a nagging issue or a same issue that you keep going to your friends and family with over and over again. They might tire of the same thing. You know, it's hard to see somebody suffer. You don't want to see your friends or family in a bad position, in a bad relationship, or suffering in any way. But that's why the little things, the minor arguments, the fights that you have, it just should be private. And women, I won't even say women are emotional. People can be emotional. So I get when it's hard for people to not do it. Like when you're feeling something and you're angry or upset and you just want to talk to somebody, I do understand why people do it. Totally. It does take a lot of self-control to like, I need to work through this with my partner. We need to support each other. We need to be there for each other and work through this. And that's a really hard place to get to. Yeah.
And if you find yourselves in a situation like that at home, where there is fighting, let me make this clear, not abuse,
right?
Not abuse, not physical abuse,
arguments,
but arguments, as we all have them, and we're all going to have thousands of more arguments. As long as you're with someone, there will be arguments. You have to understand that. But if it get to a certain level where, you know, you can't take it, and take a walk outside, take a drive. Well, maybe not drive if you are.
If you're upset, I'm not a fan of the upset driving.
Yeah, it's not if you're up to that particular level. No, don't drive, but take a walk, take a drink. You know, I don't know. Smoke a blunt, pop a gummy. I don't know, whatever it takes for you to calm down, right. and then try to revisit the argument or the disagreement that you and your partner have. Again, I'm not perfect. Michelle's not perfect. I've had arguments where I'm yelling to the top of my lungs, and the very first thing I do is I would just try to walk away or walk in different rooms or just try to give myself some space, me and my partner some space where we can calm down, and then, hey, maybe we revisit it again in a couple hours, or maybe we'll revisit it again the next morning. But I'm for sure not calling my family and talking about the situation in my house that I'm dealing with.
It's that calm down period that is the hardest, though. You know, where if you are taking some space or separating a little bit and taking some time for yourself to sort through your thoughts and what you want to do or say, that is the hardest part. I will say that, where you want to reach out to somebody or go to someone's house or go run to somebody, that if it's, you know, I'm miles and miles away from my family, so I can't go driving over there. But, you know, it's that part that's the hardest. And that is where you just, you need to kind of take the time, sort through your thoughts. Because, by the time you go telling a family member and they give you certain advice, and then if you don't take it, then it's like, well, now they think differently about your partner because you've told them things that you maybe shouldn't share with your parent or family. And now they give you advice and you don't take it, then, just like me, over and over again with the same advice.
Right. Exactly.
Leave him.
Exactly.
You're too good for him. And you just continue to go back. Like, makes me think that, well, why are you even telling me? I'm giving you advice and you're not taking it. So
exactly. And you know what? Misery loves what?
Company.
Misery loves company. So now, I really don't expect everyone to listen to what me and you were saying about not going to your family and not going to your friends, but stay away from those single friends. Like stay away from the single girlfriend. Now, stop telling ladies, stop telling your single girlfriends all your business that's in your relationship, because, listen, they will always give you the wrong advice. They will all, I think. This is just me.
Yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want
to say right
listen,
now.
I don't want to. I don't want to put everybody on this table. But me personally, yes. stop going to the single ladies and getting advice. For as far as the parents, stop going to the single parents. If you need that type of advice, if you are in a relationship. Now, if you have to go to somebody, yes, I mean, I can see if you're going to someone that's married, even though I still do not agree with putting your business out there to family or friends.
Right.
I'm just saying this for someone who may be listening. If you have to go outside of your relationship to talk to someone, I would just think, hey, you might want to talk to somebody that's with someone that type of advice may be just a little bit better than the single person's advice.
I'm glad you circled back to that.
Yeah,
because
sure.
that part started off. I mean, it's not just women.
Mm-hmm.
Women, I said, women are emotional, but there are emotional guys too, and I'm sure that women are not the only ones who do this.
No, there's some gossiping dudes out here too
exactly.
that will run their mouth way better than a woman. So I'm fully aware of that.
Men.
And some big mouth men out here too,
it's
for
just
sure.
good for anyone not to do it because again, I don't want, I personally don't want anyone to think. I want them to form an opinion of who I'm with based on who they are as a person, how they interact with family, how they are as a parent, things that we do together, how they treat me in front of them and not in front of them. Like, I know they don't see firsthand, but like you get to know somebody. I mean, I had a really bad boyfriend. And I just feel like I have to give a shout out to my dad. I didn't spill my personal business to my dad, but my dad was just like the best advice giver ever. He just always had a story. He always had a situation. That's when I say older and wiser, like my dad had gone through a lot. He was just the best advice giver, whether it was which cable should I get and cars and jobs and just everything. I didn't go running to him often. In fact, this boyfriend I had was so bad. I would hide how shitty he was. And my dad saw through every bit of it. Like, he's bad for you. He's not good for you. He's a piece of crap. Like, I didn't have to tell my dad anything for him to just make that opinion of him. And so that's why I'm saying, like, you don't have to go running to tell everybody everything. You will eventually know who your family or daughter or son or whoever is with. You'll get to know that person and you'll get to form your own opinion of them.
For sure.
And judge them based on that.
For sure. Yeah.
But I do have to flip the script a little bit.
Flip it.
Okay, so do you not want your daughter to come to you for advice on her relationship? And I know I'm making this super personal. I should probably have left it more general, but I personally want her to tell me everything. And I want to tell her everything I know about everything in life.
Listen, so unfortunately, Michelle brought my daughter into this podcast. So
Sorry.
We are shooting live, so I have to answer it live, of course. So when it comes to my beautiful, beautiful daughter, Amira.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is. Well, I mean,
you know her name.
Most folks would know my daughter's name. I blast her all over Facebook all the time. However, so.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's tough.
I want her to come to me and tell me everything.
Yeah,
I want to know everything.
Yeah.
So that's why I brought that up.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. So let me answer the question,
sorry.
Michelle.
Go ahead. Now, Michelle, I'm in trouble.
So I've been in automotive for 18 years, right? I'm gonna get to the point.
Okay.
So one technique that I believe I have is look at someone in the face and basically, listening, like 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You listen twice as much as you talk, right? I know my daughter. I believe I know my daughter. Yeah, for sure. I do.
Yes.
So I know her. So at times I know if something's wrong. She has been out on, she's a senior. She's been out on a couple dates. She has a boyfriend now. So of course I've met him. But I'm scanning him. I'm still
observing.
I'm observing. I'm still in that mode of really, I'm figuring them out. And I think I have figured them out. Of course, I'm not going to throw it all out here right now. On the
that's not at all what I wanted.
But
I was simply saying.
I do want her to come to me
yes.
if she's having issues or problems. See, this is a different situation because she's a senior. She's going to go to college. Now,
Right.
we're talking about grown adults. Now, as my daughter gets older, I will hope that I've installed in her, toughness or how to deal with certain situations. I want her to come to me and ask me advice on situations,
That is how I probably should have phrased it. Sorry.
Yeah.
I should have said, would you want your 28-year-old daughter coming to you with advice and stuff? I should have phrased it that way.
I'm gonna stand by what I said earlier.
Yeah.
If Amira is married at 28, her marriage is her marriage.
Her business.
Okay. Now she definitely needs to come to me if he put his hands on her.
Yeah.
If she's in a violent situation. But if you talking about petty little arguments and blah blah blah, no, I don't want to hear that shit. You
No,
are
okay.
married. You are the wife.
Figure it
He is
out.
the husband. You guys figure that out in your household. Don't bring it over here. I don't even want to hear blah 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 blah. None of that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? But if it's a situation where my daughter is, getting abused or whatever the case may be, then, I don't even want to say what I'll do on,
No,
I don't
no,
wanna
we're not
think
going
that
there.
way.
I was
Yeah,
simply
for sure.
asking about petty fights, arguments, older. I should have rephrased, but I still want her to tell me everything.
Oh yeah, for sure. So,
I also ask a lot of questions. So,
yeah, you do.
So that's another thing too. I think it's a little bit different if the family or friends are pinging you with questions. I mean, obviously don't lie, but I think then it's a conversation. It's not we just had a fight and I'm running to you to tell you our business type of deal. So
Right. So
that's where I think it's a little different.
exactly. So what I would probably want to know from the listeners, have you been in a situation where you have ran and told that, I'll put it to you that way, ran to a family member or friend, and then your situation just didn't work out off the advice that your source has given you, whether that's your family member, mom, dad, or whoever, and a friend. I want to hear some stories on that if you guys have any. Michelle, do you have any final words before I give the at the end of the day, this is what you need to do thing?
No, I agree with you. I think that it's wise to keep your business private, keep it between you and your spouse or partner. I mean, I think even if you're not married, I think the same thing applies. That was the only thing I wanted to circle back to was if you're married or not, if you're in a committed, serious relationship, I don't think you want to be blasting your business or making your partner, because again, you're telling your side of the story, your perception, and your family and friends are only going to take your side because clearly you're displaying your side.
Exactly. So what Michelle said in short is, your relationship is your relationship. So shut the fuck up about your relationship to everybody else.
Basically what I said.
And handle it within your household. So listen, please do not forget to visit our Instagram page, our Facebook page, press like. Don't forget, please, this is very important. Please subscribe to our YouTube page at Jay and Chelle Show and Tell. Don't forget, we're on Sounder, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts.
And I think even if you don't watch it on YouTube, if you could still subscribe. I'm not a big podcast watcher. I'll just admit that right now. I'm a listener. So I like to Spotify, Apple, or Google. I will listen to podcasts all the time. I don't always go watch them, but I think if people could still go take a look at our YouTube page and hit subscribe, that would be great.
And there you have it. Until next time, peace.